Hello. Get your gear here. Um, there is a certain, excuse me, there is a certain mentality, and I don't tell anybody how to live, and I don't ever tell anybody what to do, so don't ever jump on my back, okay? I make suggestions, but on this video, if people would follow this, countless, endless lives would actually be saved. It's not my opinion. That's a fact. And people, I posted an image. I go to a surplus store, and they had something there. As a dumb guy that works there, and he didn't know what he had, and he had two of them, and they're worth $280 a piece. And they're rare antiques. I took one and I altered it, and I know I damaged the value of it, but I always wanted a real sword. And I posted these images on Instagram and Facebook. And there's a famous author, this very intelligent, very, very intelligent. I recommend this book. And this famous author left a comment, why would you buy those? And I'll show you what they are. I made a leather sheath last night for it, and I sharpened and I polished it. They're made in 1910 in Germany, and this video is not about buying these. I got a bunch of other stuff to show here. Okay, this video is not about these. It's first I'd like to talk about the mentality that an enormous amount of people have. They don't understand like a what-if scenario. They live their life kind of like a fart in the wind, which is not a good thing. They're just like, whatever happens, happens, just... And it is a sheep mentality. And like I said, I don't tell anybody what to think or do or believe, but it, to me, is extremely reprehensible to have a sheep mentality. There are people that, like, whistle through the pits of hell, and, they don't have any situational awareness. They don't have any street smarts, yeah? They don't have any common sense, or what is technically in the vernacular wisdom. No common sense, no street smarts. They're oblivious. It's kind of like if a really hot person, really hot, were wearing like a string bikini and, strolling through a bad part of town in the middle of the night. It's like, that's really stupid. Like, why? I just want to get some exercise. It's like, you don't do that. Just no common sense. So this author left to go, why would you buy that? Now I show you what it is. And it's made in 1910, so it's 110 years old. Made in Solingen, Germany. And I love antiques. And I left one untouched because I know you damage antiques when you polish them or shine them or whatever, but I didn't care. I got them, they're worth $280 a piece. And I got them for $40 a piece, so that's why I couldn't resist buying it. And I'm not it's a short sword. It's just a brilliant piece, and it's genuine. I mean, it's not, modern day knockoff garbage made in the 80s, 90s, in China. This is real deal, old school German quality. They made these between 1909 and 1912. It's like, why did you buy it? It's like, well, number one, they're worth $280, and I got them for $40. And they're absolutely gorgeous pieces of German craftsmanship. But it's also useful. There are very few things that you could say that, hey, I got this thing way too cheap. Not only is it a gorgeous piece of craftsmanship, but if the poop were to hit the fan, it would be so incredibly useful. You could do anything with it. Defend yourself, hack trees down, not big trees, obviously, bush, and, just use it. So not only is it a beautiful antique, it's beautiful craftsmanship, and it's insanely useful. There are very few things in the world like that, but people have this mentality. Some people, live their life like a leaf in the wind or a fart in the wind. Whatever happens, happens. It's like, chance favors the prepared mind. Those who fail to plan are by definition planning to fail. Now, since I'm a concealed carry instructor for the Department of Criminal Justice, DOCJT, for actually defense of self, I would not pack this around. I take other things with me when it comes to, protection of oneself. But I can't show those in videos, but I'll let the imagination run wild. But There was an ice storm here in Lexington, in Kentucky, actually, and many, many states. And also, too, a big one hit in Texas. A lot of people died. They froze to death. That never should have happened. I like to point out some things that you could get really, really cheap. Some of them not so cheap. On eBay that everybody should have. Everybody needs to have a fire, be able to heat their food and warm their bodies. You know, clothing is obviously... Does anybody need to talk about clothing? I have gas heat in this house, but even if the power goes out, the furnace is still an electrical device with a blower. You know, the furnace could be blasting, but without that electrical blower, it doesn't circulate heat. So, you know, I could use the stove to heat my food and, like, warm up one room, but, I mean, there's a lot of people lost power, and a lot of people died, and not a lot, but enough, more than enough. Too many people died in Texas. People need to have a mind of preparedness. I'd like to mention at least a few things, and this is not all of it, that everybody should have, period. Some people just don't think. It's like, you know, and stupid people, they will say, it's like, why do you, you know, why would you pack a thing around on your body to protect yourself? It's like living in fear. It's like, why do you have car insurance and health insurance and a fire extinguisher? You living in fear? Well, now. So, you have a fire extinguisher in your house and a smoke alarm, right? Yeah, I do. So you're living in fear of a fire? It's like, no, I just like being prepared. Well, there you go. People don't think. They're stupid by definition. There's way too many stupid sheeple out there. Anyway, this is called a Ferrocerium rod. I like to strike it here. Anyway, it'll light a fire anywhere. They basically last forever. This is one of those big fat ones, too, by the way. Most Ferrocerium rods are about half this size and nowhere near as thick. And I'd actually catch this on fire. I like to show you, but this is just a piece of steel. You could use a knife blade. You can basically start a fire anywhere. I actually have some bandage tape rolled on the back of this, and you could hang it around your neck. The days of rubbing sticks together. No, everybody should have a one of these would last a person a lifetime. Remember that Willy Wonka movie, The Everlasting Gobstopper, you know, a piece of candy that lasts forever? This is kind of like that. I mean, you could use this thousands of times and it would still be basically 100% intact. Make a fire anywhere. And trust me, when you really dig into this and you get some paper shreds or some dry leaves, I mean, this sucker will start a fire really damn quick. Every special force on Earth literally packs a Ferrocerium rod. Not a really big honker like this, but you don't need a big honker. Just the big honkers light the fire a lot quicker because their circumference is a lot larger and they actually emit a lot more sparks. These are like $10 on eBay, a Ferrocerium rod. A lot of people are unable to heat their food in an emergency. I grew up with these, and I am actually an expert on stuff to prepare for, on contingencies and the best equipment to buy. I have 4 of these, and they're different variants. So one is the Whisperlight International, one's Whisperlight Universal, and the other one, there's 2 more, and they're at my cabin. And yeah, they're the Dragonfly. So anyway, this is a little MSR stove. It runs off of white gas or gasoline. There's actually 5 different fuels that these run off of. You set the legs in place. You hook up a bottle that I didn't bring out here. You pressurize the bottle with a little pump that's on the bottle. And you cook your food. You actually can't use it indoors, really, because you're letting off toxic fumes. But, you know, it could, this is what mountaineers use. They actually use the MXK, one of these, which burns a lot hotter than this. It's very fuel inefficient. But it boils water from snow very, very, very friggin' quickly. And they're so lightweight. Everybody on Earth should actually have one of these. Here's the little valve that screws into a little $10 aluminum bottle, and you actually pump the pressure into the bottle, and that feeds the fuel to the stove. Everybody should have one of these little stoves. They're like $60. Depends on whether it's a Whisperlight International or a Universal or a Dragonfly or an MXK stove. Everybody should. Here's something that's a lot easier than that. These little IsoPro canisters. They make, most of the ones I have are in my cabin. They're about this large. They're $10, and they use a little $40, this is my own design on this, by the way, a little $40 stove. it screws right on the top of it, and here it is. This is how compact it is. And this is not the one that actually has the piezoelectric igniter. Otherwise, you just screw it on here. You turn this valve, and you put a match to it as you're turning it on. And of course, you can heat your fuel. This is the stove itself. It just screws into the top of this sucker. These basically will last forever. At say burning a isobutane fuel mixture. I recommend getting the larger ones, about yay big. They're like $10. There's that. This is a titanium cookware set that I actually keep all my stuff in. It's wrapped in this bubble foil for when you set your thing in here after you've heated your foods, to keep it warm and to saturate the hydration of dehydrated meals. Not like MREs, which suck. But they're called Mountain House. They're dehydrated. Everybody, by the way, I should have brought out some Mountain House meals. Everybody on Earth should have. They last 30 years. So if you're like my age and you buy some, they're going to last beyond your death. They're so good. I swear to God, the best lasagna I've ever had. When you open up the bag, it looks like someone's ashes. It's just dust. Biscuits and gravy is incredible. Lasagna is incredible. It's not MREs. This is high quality stuff. Tastes so damn good. Everybody should try some Mountain House. They are about $8 to $10 a package for 2 servings. For a fat guy like me, it's really 1 serving. But you pour some boiling water in there, you seal the bag, wait 10 minutes, open it, stir it again, reseal it for another 10 minutes, and the meal is cooked. They are really, really awesome. I swear to God, one of the coolest inventions on this earth. Everybody's kind of had an MRE. MREs suck. You know, that's army garbage. But Mountain House is the creme de la creme, the Lamborghini version of an MRE. They're really good. Some are better than others. Beef stroganoff is really good. The lasagna is incredible. Everybody, if you have a family, let me be really bold. I think you're a total fool, especially if you have a family. You're just a fool of a fool if you don't have a box full of, say, 40 plus Mountain House meals. You know, your favorite variety. Try one. It's like, yeah, I like this. I'm going to buy a bunch of these. You are. They last 30 years. They taste awesome. I should have brought some out. I got tons of them in my cabin. I got tons in my back room back there. Here's the one thing that everybody should have, and it blows my mind. I'm always smacking my head at all this. Like, an emergency hits. People are like, go get bottled water. So dumb. If you have a stove and you're iced in, you know, you can melt your ice. Like, yeah, but it's dirty water. You know, it's rainwater. It's snow, ice. It's like, well, so what? Once you're done boiling it, it's pure. If you're worried about impurity, everybody should have one of these. By the way, this is the expensive one. If you want the cheap one, it's like $65. It's called the Pure Hiker, P-U-R Hiker. I got a few of those. Me and my buddy are water filtration gurus. This is the one that Delta Force, literally Delta Force and Navy SEALs use. This is a little hose attachment. Let you drop it in the water. Okay, it's not a filtration here. Just actually drop it in a creek or whatever. This is such a simple design. It's made in Switzerland. It's a very, very, very simple filter. These are currently about, what, $250. It's called a Katadyn pocket filter. They're perfection. They're so, so, so simple. I don't know if I should take it apart here. Uses a ceramic filter. Unscrews here. Cleaning it, which, you know, you don't really have to do that often, unless you're worried about mildew growing. Once it gets wet, you need to leave it out. But here it is. Here's the ceramic core of it. It's really simple. It is made in Switzerland. This is all precision CNC machined stainless. Everybody, I have 2 of these. One of them is in my cabin. It's a Katadyn pocket filter. This is the God level. Now, not for filtering enormous amounts of water for a house or whatnot. No, the crap hits the fan. Or, I mean, you could filter a crap load of water with a Katadyn pocket filter, a crap load. But, you know, it's not meant for a house system. You know, so you gotta sit here and pump this sucker. But it does a really good job. Really, really good job. And this is perfection as far as poop hits the fan, or if you're traveling or camping and there's no water around, you know, there's a creek over there, there's rainwater, you know, with some mosquitoes floating around the rainwater. You stick your hose in there, out comes fresh, pure water. Everybody has to have water filtration. You see these people at the grocery store, and they're stupidly buying tons and tons of this overpriced garbage tap water inside plastic bottles, no less. Ugh. It's like, oh my God, you know, the poop's gonna hit the fan. Let's go get bottled water. A smart person would like, why would I do that? It's like, well, you know, we might be without water. It's like, there's water everywhere. Yeah, but it's not drinkable. It's like, well, that's what a water filter is for. Stupid people buy bottled water. Smart people, for dire emergencies, they buy water filtration. Yeah, water filtration. Yeah, my buddy, my mega millionaire buddy, has spent years and years researching water filtration. He's got all sorts of water filtration devices. We've been talking about water filters for decades. This is a little sponge for actually scrubbing off any mold that would grow on the ceramic filter. If you, after you got it wet and used it, you didn't let the ceramic filter dry out, because, you know, something stays wet, mold can grow on it. That's actually only a pain in the butt on these, is that once you use it for a week or two, once you get back home, you need to rinse the filter out, and then you need to let it dry out. And for it to dry out, it takes about 2 or 3 days. I've done that before many times with this sucker. I've got a couple of these. So anyway, these are the things that would save the lives of, I didn't pack this right, save the lives of endless numbers of people, and highly recommend. Everybody should have a stove, everybody should have a water filtration device. But I was reminded to make this video just due to that sheep mentality, because I bought 2 of these. They're antique, I got them for a steal, and they're incredibly useful. And, you know, it's 110-year-old German perfection. I mean, this is just awesome. I sharpened it, then I polished the blade to a mirror shine, pretty much. I know I ruined its antique value. I know about, you know, sanding and polishing antiques. I know, but I didn't care. I got them so cheap, and they're short swords. They're not bayonets, they're short swords. And they're just beautiful pieces of work. And they're eminently useful. How could I turn down the purchase of those at $40 a piece? I just could not. But people do have that mentality. It's like, he goes, why would you buy that? You plan on using it? It's like, I would ask anybody, it's like, why did you buy that fire extinguisher? You plan on having a fire? It's like, well, why do you put your seatbelt on when you climb in your car? You planning on having a wreck? That's a dumb question, isn't it? Well, asking me about buying that, or like, but why would you buy this? You know, you got gas heat and electric heat and propane. Why would you buy a stove? It doesn't make any sense. It's like, it's just so dumb. I know how dumb so many people are, but it still confounds me how terminally stupid people are. They say stuff, and we've all said dumb stuff, like, I shouldn't have said that, that was pretty stupid. That people will say some of the dumbest things imaginable, like, God, did you ever think? Some people literally, I swear, must say whatever pops into their head without ever thinking first. There's that old saying that says to talk without thinking is to fire without aiming. Oh, God. By the way, I'm the biggest proponent in the world of titanium. I have a crap load of titanium cookware. A lot of it's at my cabin and other places. But yeah, here's this one. It's got its lid right over there. You actually fit it in this to rehydrate those meals. Everybody should have one of these little stoves. They're little MSR stoves, by the way. Just go on to MSR's website. That other big stove, relatively big, is also an MSR stove. Mountain Safety Research is what MSR stands for. You go like this, and you do this number, and you swivel these up, and you put your pot right on top of it here. This little miniature stove. You see how cute that is? You see your such a little pot right there. You screw it into your fuel canister. Turn on the valve a little bit. Put a match right beside it. You got heat, and you got your food cooked, and also too you could, you know, melt ice for drinking water and pass it through your water filter. Everybody should have, it's like the old caveman thing, you need to have food, heat, and clothing. People think they're so smart, you know, you could have, and this is, think about this and how true it is, you could have like a hacker genius, you know? The guy could like work 4 computers at once, and he could do code while he's half asleep, but they've become so stupid that they don't even know how to survive like an emergency. It's like, you know, you can hack the planet, the modern mentality that's so out of touch with nature and reality. They can impress the hell out of anybody with their computer skills, but they don't even know how to save their own life in an emergency. They become clueless. They've become like a domesticated dog that barks and barks and barks but doesn't know how to hunt. It's been intellectually and neutered of all wisdom and common sense. Human beings have become, and just think how far a little freaking chihuahua that's always shaking, you know, those little stupid dogs that shake and they pee on themselves. You know, those things came from a wolf. You know, you threw a chihuahua out in the wild, I mean, it's not going to last a day. Human beings are exactly like that little freaking chihuahua. If I'm lying, I'm dying. There's not a single person on this planet that can tell me I'm wrong about what I just said, because I'm not wrong. I'm 100% right. I love how this is my own idea. It is so brilliant. I got the stove and the fuel canister. I got everything in here. I got salt and pepper. I got everything in this lightweight titanium. I love this. I've created 2 of these. This is one of my best little inventions ever. I love this little sucker, and I can hang it from a tree or inside my tent. Brilliant, brilliant design. I'm so proud of myself for coming up with this. Abundantly useful. But these are the things everybody needs to have. You say, why do I need that? I don't plan on an emergency happening. Emergencies do happen. Anyway, people just don't think anymore. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video. Maybe you didn't. Goodbye.